The PCI Security Standards Council has published the guidelines and procedures for remote assessments. And in that document, they state that on-site assessments is still the expected method for performing these assessments. It says in legitimate scenarios, remote assessments can be performed. So I think that's something to think about, because many times the idea of performing the assessment remotely is embraced without much thought or care given to, is this a legitimate scenario for us to do that? And I think the concepts in this guidance provided by the PCI Council is something that applies to any type of audit that you might be engaging in, different from PCI. You know, is this a legitimate scenario where we're not going to have any on-site at all and we're going to be 100% remote? In the guidance, they provide a list about some of the things that you should consider about whether or not this should be performed remotely. And the first one is if it's not feasible or practical to perform the assessment activity on site. That's what happened during COVID-19. It was not feasible or practical because of the restrictions on travel, the restrictions on gathering, the shutdowns of buildings, the work from home orders made it not feasible or practical in that scenario. The assessor is able to complete a thorough assessment using appropriate remote methods. That's a conversation that your assessor and you as the client should have. Can this be done thoroughly? Because ultimately, we and you want this to be a thorough audit, a thorough engagement. Because what if something is missed? What if there's some process or technology or department that would benefit from the presence of a security expert walking through their processes and understanding what and how they're doing something? We don't want to embrace remote if it means a less thorough engagement. Another element that they give in the document is that the assessor has a high degree of confidence that the assessment will result in evaluation of the entity's environment to all applicable requirements. So we have to be confident that we can do a good job under the scenario. And all businesses are different. There are some environments where it's possible to get the remote evidence that brings that level of confidence, but there are other environments where it just does not give us the confidence that we can do a thorough job under that scenario. The next one is that the assessor has a high degree of confidence in the accuracy and integrity of the evidence. We've had clients tell us that we just don't want to talk to anybody, we don't want to have any sessions with you, we just want to send you the evidence and have you complete the audit. And in those scenarios, that does not give us a high degree of confidence in the accuracy or integrity of the engagement, because we need to corroborate what you're doing, how you're doing it, who's doing it. And sometimes that is more than simply uploading evidence or sending evidence. The assessor's level of confidence in the remote testing results needs to be equal to what we would expect during thorough on-site testing. And so can we achieve that same level of confidence? And then finally, the guidance from the PCI Council says that the assessor should have a high degree of assurance in the overall assessment result. This is ultimately, are we willing to sign our name on this, that you are compliant, that you have met all of the requirements that are in the PCI standard, or as I said before, any other type of audit standard? I think this concept still exists. So these are very important conversations to have with your assessor. If your assessor is not addressing these issues, then we ask you to ask for a higher degree of confidence in the result of your audit. Have a conversation with us, and let's see what the best approach is for you and your business.